All right, guys, BYD here. Listen, I'm finna show you something. This is for, we're headed into fall. I want to show you how to apply your pre-emergent, and I'm also going to give you a bonus tip. All right, now if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to show you that bonus tip, but I'm going to show you step by step. This is a step-by-step video. I got Junior here. All right, we're finna head into the Home Depot, and you can get that buggy, or you can get one on the inside, and I'm going to show you some stuff and what to buy. Come and you can get a bag of Lesco 007 right here. It's a 0.86 right here. When you getting this stuff, guys, make sure you try to get one that does not have a hole in it. I know you can take them up there if it's ripped at 50% off, but I just don't like dealing with that stuff when I'm traveling in the car or anything like that. Make sure you get the Lesco brand. One reason I tell you that, guys, because this has a formula called pendimethalin in it. It's a pre and it's a post emergent. It does not have prodiamine in it. The one at Lowe's has the prodiamine in it, but you still can get either or, but I just prefer the Lesco 007 at Home Depot. I seem to get better results. So let's go home and I'm going to show you how to apply this step by step. Make sure you stay to the end so you can get that bonus tip. All right, guys, before I cut it open, I want to show you this because it's going to always be somebody in the comments telling you that you should not be applying it in the summertime. You should not be applying it in the fall. You shouldn't apply anymore but once a year or whatever. Always read your label instructions. All right, the information in this video is for informational purposes only, but you still need to read the label. But let me show you this right here. It literally says it right there: summertime, fall time. If that's not enough, it'll control these weeds: curd weed, poor annual chickweed, lawn burnweed, henbit, corn, speedwell. Listen, apply. It's right. It's on the bag. I'm getting tired of saying it. Apply late summer or early fall prior to weed germination. The things you want to do is go ahead, cut it open. Make sure you got your safety glasses on and your gloves. Sometimes I don't cut it all the way across because if I'm not going to use the whole bag, I'll just do it like this. Don't put this in another container, guys. Keep this inside of the bag, whatever you don't use. The hopper is closed. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here. I want to show it to you up close right here. Matter of fact, let me show you something else real quick before we start. Cool season grasses, guys, you cannot overseed after you put pre-emergent down. All right, you should not be overseeding your Bermuda grass in the fall or winter period anyway. Just keep that in mind. So I'm not going to go over all this right here. It's on the back of the bag. Northern grasses and the southern grasses. Just look on the back of the bag and it'll show you some of the stuff that it prevents. Guys, the way it's supposed to work is this. Pre-emergent is supposed to keep the weed seeds from germinating before they germinate, all right, or even after they germinate. Right at the crack of it, it can help retard the growth of that and basically kill it off. That's what pre-emergent does when you put it down and water it in into the soil to create that barrier. So applying fertilizer in the late summer, guys, that's going to help some of these winter weeds that's going to start to germinate underground. You won't see those winter weeds until early spring, but we want to try to prevent some of those, like poa. This is a crabgrass preventer, but the September application is not necessarily preventing crabgrass. We're going after those cool season weeds that's in the soil. All right, first rule of thumb, guys, make sure you have this thing closed before you start applying any fertilizer, because do it on concrete. Don't pour this in your into the container or the hopper over grass, because if that's open, it's going to spill out. All right, so my setting on this should be on 13. What we do is come back here and we have a little dial. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll get a little bit closer. You can see it right there. Hopefully it's on 13, 12.75, or whatever I have it on. So it's key to make sure that you put that spreader on the right setting so you can get the right application rate. Now, if you over apply, it's not going to hurt. All right, get out of that. But just make sure you put it on there so you will apply it properly. Guys, you see that yellow stuff? That's the pre-emergent that's sprayed on a carrier agent. All right, so after you water this in real good, or it's rained in the next week or so, you'll still have some of these granulars that's going to be in the yard for unheard of amounts of time. 1 month, 3 months, 5 months. That's not the prodiamine, guys. That is a carrier agent. Could be limestone. I don't know what they use. That they spray this stuff on and it broadcasts throughout your yard. After you water this, that yellow stuff is going to start to fade off and go into the soil. What's going to be left are these little granulars right here, where people have made the assumption that it didn't work or it didn't break down. The prodiamine or the pendimethalin, whichever formula you decide to get, is going to wash off this. Keep that in mind. If you want to know what this is, guys, this will just help prevent it from getting wet, just in case a rainstorm or something happens or the sprinkler system come on, or you accidentally tip it over. It'll keep it from falling out and getting onto the soil. When applying this, guys, you got choices. You can go back and forth, or you make the border pass first, all around the border. I'm just doing this little part of the backyard, and then you get everything in the middle. All right, well, let's do the border pass. So, guys, I'm about to come into the film, but when you apply this, try to make sure you apply it evenly. What I mean by evenly is you're not zigzagging throughout the yard. You need to go up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, so you can get the best application on it. Now, when I get to this corner down here, I've already made my border pass. I don't need to walk over into the part that I already applied. Generally, with this spreader will spread about anywhere from 8 to 13 feet. So if I know it's spreading 8 feet, I'm going to go over about 3 or 4 feet, and I want to make sure this spreads exactly where it stops. So I can see it. I want to make sure that I go over further enough so when it starts spreading out even more, it won't land. I won't overlap per se. If you overlap, nothing really is going to happen, but you just want to make sure that you get an even application. All right, then you'll start pushing it again. If you have to, guys, make sure you get out there and see that line so you can get an even application. All right, guys, and that's pretty much it. Let me tell you some mistakes that a lot of you guys are going to make. So when you put your pre-emergent down, you have to water it in. That pre-emergent is not going to activate until it's watered into the soil. All right, the day before you apply pre-emergent, what I recommend is that you water your yard. You want to make sure that the ground is conducive to taking in that pre-emergent. The other mistake people make is once you put it down and you got tall grass, a lot of that or some of it may not make it its way down to the soil because the grass is too tall. Talking about Bermuda grass in particular. Never apply this pre-emergent to a wet lawn. Must be dry to help it fall down into the grass and touch the soil. All right, the other thing too I see is when people apply pre-emergent, they didn't water it. Then they come out there with the lawnmower bagging it up, and you may be bagging up some of the pre-emergent because you didn't wash it all into the soil. So the best way to water it, guys, is to water it a couple of times that week, guys. Water it deeply. Just, you know your yard, guys. You can't just go out there and spit on it with a little sprinkle water. You got to water that stuff into the soil. Now, here are my fertilizer dates that I recommend. September 15th, November 15th, as long as the soil temps are above 65 and above. February 15th, April 15th. All right, that February and April 15th are real important as far as keeping crabgrass, poa and stuff like that out of there. You want to make sure you get it watered in, guys. As usual, read that bag, read the product label. Don't just keep watching YouTube videos and assuming it. All the information could change in the blink of an eye if a company decides to change their formulation or something like that. So make sure you read the bag so you get the best application. Guys, if you're still confused about pre-emergent, I got a lot of videos for you to watch, guys. You're tuned into Bermuda Grass Central with BYD. It's Michael Bowman. I'll talk to you soon.